This is Sound and Vision from KEXP. Seattle's Kassa Overall is dropping a new record on May 26th. Back in April, DJ Miss Ashley sat down with Kassa to talk about his new album, the ending of Washington Middle School's band program in Seattle, of which Kassa attended, and mental health.
Hanging on by a thread, I could never be dead. There's a mountain inside of my heart now, yet the lava is calm.
Yeah, so let's talk about the album a little bit, your latest studio album. What would you say are some of the major themes on the record?
Okay, so it's called Animals. And that's like a metaphor for, you know, being an entertainer, being a black man in America, being a human being in society. And at times I feel like a zoo animal or a circus animal trying to perform and entertain and not be too wild, but wild enough that it's worth watching. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that's like the centerpiece of the whole album. And the album covers a lot of different subjects, but they all point back at this feeling of like, I'm trying to be everything I can be and as authentic as I can be in order to be seen, but also you feel like you're contorting. Is that the right word? You're contorting yourself to fit exactly what it needs to be. And if you slip at all, everything is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of like I was dealing with that feeling a lot during the lockdowns and after the lockdowns as we were starting to tour and travel again. And that was just one of the main things that was on my mind, you know? So like, how am I going to continue this? You know, and how am I going to go back out and live the life I was living before, after everything, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a freestyle on the subject.
Nice. One of your singles is called Make My Way Back Home. In it, your lyrics mention filled prescriptions, a missed miscarriage, a couple miscarriages. No, excuse me.
A mismarriage.
A couple miscarriages. And then you go on to say music is your therapist.
The math of a mismarriage, plus a couple miscarriages. Dreams never came true, family that I never knew. Plus a couple hating too. Now the music is my therapist.
Tell me more about what's going on in this song.
It's just like, yo, life has been a lot, right? And I think that on the last album, I was like really in my own head a lot. And this album, the things that I'm thinking about that are like my own issues, I'm also thinking about like everybody else having. So many people are dealing with prescriptions and dealing with miscarriages and dealing with love situations not working out. And so I'm just going like, yo, this music is what kept me alive, really. Like this music it's been a through line for everything. You know, when things went really well, the drum set was there and I was feeling all great and practicing. And when things were feeling very hopeless, I could still go to the practice room and express myself and also continue to develop and continue to progress myself.
Yep.
Right. And so I'm not saying don't go to therapy or anything, but you know, I'm just saying that for me the music is like has been my little like tote bag this whole life. It's kind of weird to think about. It's always just been there right with me, like keep going.
Cool.
You know, long term, you know.
Yeah.
Now the music is my therapist. We talk it out every night in a booth, trying to repair the issue. We all trying to break free like a bird in the wind, cause we all going home in the end. You could cry to your mama, but she don't want no drama.
You've been very open about your own struggles with mental health in interviews and in your music, and the topic of suicidal ideations come up on this latest record. Why is it important to you to address this through your music?
I was actually just thinking about this because I don't know if it's necessarily important to me, you know, meaning like I don't have to. But sometimes if thoughts come up and I I feel like I'm not making the dopest possible thing. Because to me, the dopest possible musical idea or creative idea is it's a little, who was I talking to? Or I was watching an interview or something, but they were talking about where it's like you almost feel like you're listening to a conversation you shouldn't be hearing, like a private convo.
Yep.
And so if I keep editing my private convos constantly, I'm not going to make that thing that makes people go like, ooh, you know?
Got it.
Because that's what I want when I'm listening to stuff, you know? I mean, I know you trying to get a lot of money, and I know you blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know, blah, blah, like, we already did all those tropes. So it's just pushing myself.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me in it. And yeah, it's just sometimes it's like what I'm dealing with, and I just try to get it out. That's the music as a therapist part. I'm trying to get it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, when people ask me about Kassa Overall, one of the things that comes to mind for me is how much of a hustler you are. And for real, and we've been supporting each other's work closely ever since your debut release in 2019, Go Get Ice Cream and Listen to Jazz, which I was an early supporter of. Ready to Ball is about the hustle, right?
Yeah.
But everybody, so you go falling. In love with the shiny things.
I never seen a love as strong as human need. There's never enough as far as you can see. To build these golden handcuffs for you and me. The jewelry is woo.
It got a shine to it. I could get it if I put my mind to it.
I don't know. I find it to be a very relatable sentiment. You give something your all for what in exchange, you know?
Yeah. Nothing.
When you talk about the two-sided coin of this song, is that to say, on one hand, the amount of hustling I do wears me down, but on the other, the response and support, even if just moral, makes it worth it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is that you have to get comfortable with the no.
Okay.
I'm just giving a little hustle game real quick, sidebar. You got to get comfortable with people like, and even worse than no, silence. You know what I mean? You hit up somebody and you don't get no response and you just start stewing and brewing.
Yep.
But you got to get over that. Otherwise, you're just going to get the no and the silence anyway. So you got to just get comfortable. But then to answer your question directly, yeah, I mean, seeing more people listening to my music, seeing people react on a truly kind of emotional, cathartic level to the stuff I'm doing and all of that, that's definitely the payoff. But it's not worth me living a worse life. So like I could have all the cars and clothes in the world, but if I don't have any time to just like enjoy a walk, you know what I mean? Enjoy a tree, then like it doesn't matter. You know, if I don't have time to eat right or work out or whatever, then I'm playing myself.
And thanks for the tips on the hustle.
And anybody that I didn't respond to that hit me up, you know, it's love, you know what I'm saying? Don't take it so personal.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Very, yes. Well, and I want you to know, I notice your hustle game. I respect your hustle game, and I'm genuinely grateful for the work you've put in and the gift you put out. So,
thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm always worried about coming off annoying, you know, bugaboo vibe.
Well, I want to change the subject for a minute to talk about something with some serious implications.
Okay.
Seattle Public Schools are facing a $131 million budget shortfall, and Washington Middle School might cut their music programs in half, eliminating the jazz program, the same program that you were a part of. This is surprising to me. I was in middle school band, high school band up in Snohomish, and I can tell you anyone who's ever been in a school band in Washington, like, has always known that Garfield has won every major competition.
Yeah.
But what people might not realize is that Washington Middle School Husky Jazz Band is the primary feeder program for the nearby Garfield High School.
True.
So the fact that this program, which does so much more than that for the community, is so vital for its accessibility, is at risk is shocking to me.
Yeah, same.
So and people are taking to the streets. Students are protesting. Parents are advocating. A news article quoted a young drummer in the program saying the mental health benefits alone are worth fighting for.
Wow.
So you being a living testament to the kind of outcomes Washington Middle School's jazz program produces, how does this news about cutting the WMS jazz program sit with you?
It sits like food poisoning. It's crazy. I can't believe it, And I think it's like Seattle's changing a lot, right? So like we look at Washington Middle School as a historical landmark.
Yeah.
And you have people here that moved here to work at Amazon or, whatever. The Central District's all but gentrified completely, So it's like you have people in position that don't understand the significance that goes back not only to me, but to Jimi Hendrix,
Yep.
Quincy Jones at Garfield. And we won every competition. My brother's band, he's Kassa Overall, who's 4 years older than me. They won every competition. And so it's kind of like, art has this value, this unexplainable value, but art shifts our society in ways on a local level and on a universal, global level. So I also think that people don't realize what they're potentially killing off, and then it's also kind of, there's a cultural part of like the mental gentrification of a place, because like we're talking about a Black culture, a Black art, and so we're talking about how much we need change and how much this and that, but like this is like not gonna exist in this place that's historically Black,
Yeah.
So people like Wynton Marsalis know about Garfield, and people all across the world, if I say I'm from Seattle, they say, "Did you go to Garfield?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that it's really messed up. I don't have the answers, but I'm trying. I'm thinking of all these. I'm brainstorming all these. Could we do this? Could we do that? Does Bill Gates like jazz? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's more complicated than I understand. There's like political stuff involved, and all I can do is say, this is important to me, and let's not let history repeat itself over and over.
Right. Because we've heard this before throughout history. Budget shortfalls where we got to cut the music and the arts. Like, it's not the first time that this has come up.
And one other side note I'll say, shout out to Tom Marriott with the Seattle Jazz Fellowship, and shout out to Jazz Ed. There's different programs that are extracurricular.
Yes.
And I'm sure that all of these different programs are going to come together to work on this issue. And you know what? We can't rely 100% on I don't know if the government's the right word, but you know what I mean? The school board, public schools, all of this stuff. We should fight for the best thing we can, but we also have to think about self-sustainability. So like, if they do cut it, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
You feel me? Because it's like, we're not going to let this stop us. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully my talk isn't cheap, and I can figure out a way to use what I got as well.
Yeah. So, and then in 2021, you interviewed Robert Natt, your Washington Middle School band teacher for KEXP's Sound and Vision, about how influential he was to you and so many others. It was a great interview. Beyond what the program has done for you and your path in music, how did the Washington Middle School Jazz program and the people behind the program affect your life at the time?
I said this before, that it was the one class where we had accountability for each other as students. Like nobody was in language arts class like, hey, fix your homework. You didn't do that test right. You know what I mean? But I used to be a goofball. I'm still a goofball, but I used to be a problematic goofball. And so I would be like distracting in class and stuff. And I remember one time, Ann Drummond, who also like moved to New York has toured with all the jazz legends and has her own music out. She was 2 years older than me, so she's in 8th grade, and she's like, Kassa, quit quit playing around,
Yeah.
like this is serious, and the rest of the band was like, yeah, and we had that kind of, it was like we were professionals. So it taught me how to be an adult, taught me how to work with others in a professional environment. And it also just like kept me focused, and I had music at home, but going into the Washington program made me go like, okay, this is a hobby. Then it's like, this is a career. This is a way of life, even, so.
That was Kassa Overall speaking with DJ Miss Ashley. This conversation was recorded in April. Since then, Washington Middle School's jazz program was officially cut as part of Seattle Public Schools' budget shortfall. We'll share a link to Kassa's conversation he had on the show with his middle school band teacher, Robert Natt. We'll put that in the show description notes. Kassa Overall is about to drop a new album May 26th, and before we play his new track, Make My Way Back Home, I have a favor to ask. Please subscribe to this podcast, rate it, and review it. It helps spread the word that this podcast exists. Also, consider giving a one-time $20 donation to help support this show at kexp.org/sound. Thanks for listening.
At a loss for words, I can't complain. I sowed the seeds and prayed for rain. I filled prescriptions to block out visions. Still feel the tremble of a victim. Swallow my arrogance. Do the math of a mismarriage, plus a couple miscarriages. Dreams never came true. Family that I never knew, plus a couple hating too. Now the music is my therapist. We talk it out every night in the booth, trying to repair the issue. We all trying to break free like a bird in the wind, cause we all going home in the end. You could cry to your mama, but she don't want no drama. I've been washing all my karma. Like a farmer, trying to make my way back home. Maybe we could go back home. Trying to get back home, where the love is real. To your mama, but she don't want no drama. I've been washing all my karma. Got me working like a farmer, trying to make my way back